Hey, this is Scott, and today I'm taking a quick look at the Rode Stereo VideoMic Pro, and I'll be drawing some comparisons with the Sennheiser MKE440, which is another stereo video mic with a slightly different design. I've reviewed the MKE440 before, and I'll put links on screen and down below if you want to check that out. But it's a shotgun microphone which features two separate microphones arranged in a V pattern to give you that stereo sound, but in a shotgun form factor. It's battery powered by AAA batteries, has a -10 and +20 decibel setting, as well as a high pass filter built in. It's nearly entirely made of metal, and the mics are internally shock mounted with a permanently attached 1/4-inch coiled cable coming out of the front, therefore well protected from damage. The Rode Stereo VideoMic Pro is quite different. It basically looks like a foam ball, and under that there are two small mics arranged in an XY pattern, much like you'd see on top of a Zoom H1 for example. The build is very similar to the non-stereo VideoMic Pro, being mostly plastic but good quality. Unlike the VideoMic Pro Plus though, this doesn't have a rechargeable battery and the cable is permanently attached, although it's well protected from damage inside your bag. It's externally shock mounted, in this case with a Rycote shock mount like the VideoMic Pro, and also features a -10 and +20 decibel setting, as well as a high pass filter. You can also get furry windsocks for both of these, but I only had one for the Sennheiser during this test. In terms of sound, they're only similar in the way that they both are stereo microphones. At first you might not hear the difference, but especially if you listen closely and or on headphones, I think it will become more apparent. Sound quality wise, I was very happy with both, although I really truly do love the sound of Sennheiser microphones in general, but that's just my personal feelings. In regards to their stereo effect, the Rode seems to have a more clearly separated right and left side, and the sound doesn't sound like it's coming from right in front of the camera, but rather all around you, particularly the left and right, with a little bit less from behind. The Sennheiser also captures that surrounding sound, but a little less than the Rode, and the sound from right in front of the camera does sound like it's coming from in front of you, instead of getting split to either side like with the Rode. This leads to their motto of hear what you see. Because of this, if you have a clearly or even slightly more defined subject, the Sennheiser wins hands down in my book. But if you want to just capture the ambience, like at an event, a wedding, festival, or something along those lines, the Rode does very, very well. With the Sennheiser, you'll hear a more significant change in the sound as you move the camera around, since it is a bit more focused than the Rode. With the Rode, you don't really need to focus as much on where you want to point it. The sound will move, but the levels will stay relatively the same unless you move a significant amount. The drawback is that you don't really have the ability to focus on what's in your framing if the situation calls for it, and you can lack a little bit of the punch that I feel that the Sennheiser gives. So which would I choose? Well, ideally both. For weddings, events, or things like that, I feel like the Rode is the best fit. For situations with a clear subject, vlogging, or even a festival where I do want to put a little more focus on what's in front of the camera, I absolutely love the Sennheiser. The build quality is top notch and the sound is just beautiful. I'll put a bunch of sample clips after this to show side-by-side comparisons and some different situations. I highly recommend you listen with headphones to really get the full impact of their uniqueness and the differences between the two. If you have any questions or comments, let me know below and I'll be sure to get back to you. If you liked this video or found it helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to see more in the future. Thank you for watching and enjoy the clips coming up now. Way over there, can you sing ABCs once for me?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. No more, ABC. Next time, want to sing with me.
Quickly, before the car comes, can you sing ABCs please?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. No more, ABC. Next time, want to sing with me.
I'm standing actually a couple of meters away from the camera right now, so I'm not super close. I want to see how it picks up my voice, which is straight in front of the camera, compared to the noises that are around the camera, not in the actual framing that you can't see on the sides and behind it. I have cars going by, I have people going by. It's kind of a busy area, so if I'm close enough, then I think my voice will still overtake those other noises. But if I'm at a more not far distance, but reasonable distance, I think my voice might blend into the surroundings a little bit differently between these two microphones because they do have quite a different design in their microphone setup. So again, this is the Sennheiser MKE440. So now I am using the Rode Stereo VideoMic And I do have this as well as the Sennheiser both set to the plus 20 decibel settings on the microphone, with the audio in the camera turned down to this certain point where I'm getting my voice at about minus 12 decibels. I also had the windscreen on the Sennheiser, but I don't have a windscreen for the Rode. There's not a whole lot of wind, so I don't think it'll make a difference right now, but I just wanted to let you know that in case it affects the sound in any way. Now I'm just going to walk in a 360 degrees circle around the camera, trying to keep an equal distance from the camera as I do so, just to hear how my voice is picked up by the microphone in comparison to everything else around it as I walk at some different positions. So now I'm walking slowly to the side. I'm on the left side of the camera, pretty much straight on the left side now, towards the back. And now I'm coming around. I'm directly behind the camera at the moment. I'm coming back around to the right side, straight to the right side of the camera, coming back about 45 degrees. And finally coming back into the front of the camera. There's quite a strong wind blowing right now. I'm sorry for that. I'm sure that it's picking up some wind noise. I'm starting to walk now, and I'm pretty much at a 45-degree angle. Now I'm on the side of the microphone, on the side of the camera, and I'm moving to the back. Now I'm pretty much straight behind the camera, and I'm moving around to the other side, and now I'm on the right side of the camera, slowly coming back around to the front, 45 degrees, and walking back in front of the camera, and now I'm back where I started.
올라가요, 못 됐네.